And welcome back, adventurers, to Let's Play the Shivah. Last we left off, Rabbi Stone had just arrived at Sharming Fashion, the crime scene where Jack Lauder was murdered, to see whether the police overlooked anything in their previous investigation. It's a bit of a long shot, but who knows? Maybe we'll find a lead or two. There's a clothing rack over there, which Mrs. Lauder has already removed the items. There's a clothing dummy in the middle of the room. A design board with, fashion design sketches on it. A draft of some kind of sundress. A poster of a blank-faced woman in a hat, a shelf adorned with paints, markers and random junk, and a photo on the wall of Mrs. Lauder with a post-it note reading, "Don't forget anniversary flowers." Enough looking around. We'll check the computer and see what files Jack Lauder has. Now the password for this one is fairly straightforward. Mrs. Lauder actually revealed it to us in the previous video. It's her family name, Sharma. Welcome back, Jack Lauder. Please choose an option below. Let's look at his ledger accounts first. There appears to be quite a few to a Joe DeMarco. A lot of personal checks. I wonder who he is indeed. An accounting transaction to Goldberg and Weiselbaum. Looked like Jack hired an accounting firm. Macy's and Motor of Broadway. Goods received. Nothing, fairly useful there. Grayson's Sportswear, loose shipping, more Joe DeMarco transactions, another one to Goldberg and Weiselbaum, and a membership payment to Beth Tikva. It looked like Jack decided to stay devout after all. That's a ledger. Let's check the mail. So I'm from... there are actually a few from Ethan G. There must be an oversight. I'll look into it. It's one from Rajshri Lauder. It was Mrs. Lauder, so her first name is Rajshri. And something about orchestra tickets. No excuses this time. And another special offer from the enigmatic Tomo. I wonder if we'll ever learn who Tomo is, but I doubt it. Another email from Ethan. This is strange. The rates do seem unusually high. I'll look into it. Shipping notice from Kenny. Goods are packed and ready to ship. Wire us the funds and we'll get it on the next boat. Your instinct was right. Something isn't right with this deal. All the wire transfers lead to different places and nobody answers the phone at any of them. My accountant sensor is tingling. Don't panic, Jack. I'll get to the bottom of this. See you at Temple tonight. So, apparently Ethan and Jack know each other at Temple. It's another email from Rajshri. Dinner at the Gold Waters. Trouble. What kind of trouble? Call me. Now, we need to talk. Okay, I got you into this mess. I will get you out of it. I'm meeting with JDM tonight. Do not write him any more checks until you hear from me. He wants to play highball, he picked the wrong guys to mess with. JDM. Rotten deal. This was worth looking into. My intuition is telling me that JDM is none other than our mystery Joe DeMarco. Money transfer. How are you? We're still awaiting payment transfer from you. Your goods are taking up space in our warehouse. Please submit the monies ASAP or we'll be forced to liquidate them. Something tells me that those transfers are never going to make it to the shipping company. From RadNet admin, undeliverable. Final message. The following message was undeliverable. The reported error was subscriber asked no does not exist on RavNet. The typo of Stone. Messages as follows. Hello Rabbi Stone. It's been a while. I hope I got the correct email address. No doubt you were surprised to hear from me. I'm not sure why I'm writing either. I often think about what you said. It still angers me, but I can understand your motives. You looked at us and said nothing was worse than when Jews turn their back on one another. I can still remember that look in your eyes. Sheer contempt, like we were the worst sort of scum that ever crawled out of the ocean. I love my wife, Rabbi Stone. She is my partner in everything. I regret nothing. Nothing, that is, except you. I hated you. For years I hated you. We both did. I joined another temple with a rabbi who was willing to marry us and tried to forget about you. But when I found myself in trouble and in need of guidance, I could think of nowhere else to turn. You called me a traitor once. Do you still feel that way? I've seen traitors. I've seen Jews turn their backs on other Jews. It's not pretty, it's awful. I am not like them. Time has cooled my hatred. Has it done the same to you? I need to speak to you. I feel I am 12 years old again, preparing for my bar mitzvah and needing help with my Torah portion. I know I didn't marry a Jewish girl or go to temple every week or keep kosher or do any of the many things we're supposed to do, but I've always known that I was Jewish. Is that enough? I'm not a traitor, Rabbi. I've never forgotten that I'm Jewish. Jack Lauder. Well, the fact that he left Rabbi Stone $10,000 in his will certainly seems to suggest that time has indeed cooled his hatred, although the damage has already been done. Combine clues by dragging one on top of the other. So now we have we have 3 clues that we can do. First, Jack Lauder's ledger showed several personal checks written to a Joe DeMarco. We've got Ethan G. Received a few urgent emails from. I need to find more about this person. And JDM. In connection with Jack Lauder and Ethan G. So drag the clue. JDM is of course Joe DeMarco, as I said. That had to be it. Achievement unlocked. Klug. Why smart or clever? Combine 2 clues. We're not gonna unlock all the achievements in this Let's Play series, so it's reasonable to assume that they're the same person. Of course they are. So that's about all we can do here for the time being. So let's go back to Rajshri and tell her what we found out. See if she knows anything about Ethan G or Joe DeMarco. Hello again, Rajshri.
Mrs. Lauder.
Oh, it's you. Come on in.
Let's consult our notes on. Let's see if she knows Ethan G.
Do you know if your husband did any business with a man named Ethan?
Ethan. The name sounds familiar, but I can't place it. I'm sorry. To be honest, I didn't really keep up with the business side of things. Is he involved?
Hard to say.
Let's see if she knows anything about Joe DeMarco.
Have you ever heard of the name Joe DeMarco?
Joe? Joe. Yes, I've heard of Joe. He was one of our first investors.
He invested in Sharming?
Yes.
Why did you need an investor?
Well, we didn't have much money to start the business with. All the banks saw us as a poor risk, so we needed independent investors.
Have you ever met Joe?
Jack handled the money stuff, although I know Jack didn't like him.
Why not?
He didn't say, he just didn't like him. But we were desperate, so we had no choice.
How did they meet each other?
I think they were introduced. At the temple of all places.
At Temple? So Joe DeMarco is Jewish?
Maybe. Why?
DeMarco is not a very Jewish name.
And that's important to you, is it?
Not to me, no. But it's certainly significant.
It is indeed. And it's very significant that they met at Temple, which means, since we can rule out Benai Ben Zion, since he left 8 years ago, we can only assume...
I'll see what else I can discover.
Thanks, I guess.
We can only assume that they met at Beth Tikva, so let us return to the office and see what we can discover. Let us find out more about Beth Tikva, Ethan G, and Joe DeMarco, and see how they all tie together. At least we've got a few leads, for the time being at least. Let's search Ethan G, even though I know we're not gonna, there's a very slim chance of finding anything. No entries for Ethan G. Let's try Joe DeMarco. Okay. Resulted in over 10,000 results. Please narrow your shirts. Let's try Beth Tikva. Beth Tikva Synagogue. Contact information. 321 West 82nd Street, Chief Rabbi Amos Zelig. And with that we have another destination. I'll end the video here. When we return, we shall head to Beth Tikva to see what we can learn. Until next we meet, adventurers.